Hey, this is Pradeep with Sensatura, and today I'm sharing my impressions of Kurky or Kurky, if you like to be fancy, from Maison Kurkdjian. I did not purchase a bottle, but got to test and wear it for some time this weekend. This is a March 2025 release composed by the celebrity perfumer Francis Kurkdjian. As of this video, it is exclusive to Bloomingdale's, their official website, and some select French boutiques. Expected to release widely in the next couple of weeks, I was told. This also happens to be an original release from the brand in some time, I think since 724, not a flanker of any existing fragrances or a remake. Francis has been doing a lot of those recently, either tweaking existing fragrances or bringing back reformulated versions of discontinued releases, so it's good to see something completely new from a popular brand. Pricing is €185 for 75 ml, same as Soir for reference. Now, I have spoken about where I stand with the brand of MFK previously. I like a couple of creations from them like Oud Silk Mode, Masculin Pluriel, and the now exclusive Absolute pour le Soir. I even appreciate Baccarat Rouge 540 for how conceptual it is, but I have not been keen on many of the later laundry mask type of scents. And because of that, it's fair to say that it's not particularly a favorite brand of mine, but still I'm always curious to see what such a popular brand, liked by many others, has to offer. So what is this creation about? When I first saw the name, my immediate reaction was, it just sounded all cutesy, but it seemed intentional. Then later it was publicized that it's the pet name given to Kurkdjian by his grandmother when he was young. Then it made more sense. I did not mind the name after the fact. It is just a sweet, nostalgic naming for the scent. The bottle and the packaging even have these scribblings and sketches. Reminded me of Salgos from Frederic Malle and Cabriole from Hermes. So what is this scent actually about? The blurb from the brand goes, quote, evokes an insatiable desire for freedom, encourages you to see life in color, an astonishing fragrance like a burst of spontaneous laughter or a ray of sunshine, an invitation to awaken the child in us, enough wonder to dream, to be carefree and to make them come true. Quirky is the perfume of the great who dare to dream, as well as the not so great, unquote. Now, how does it actually smell? It opens sweet and fruity. It already hints at being a simple fragrance, which it actually is. I don't get one particular fruity note here. It's like a cocktail of orange, apple, peach, pear, berries, and whatnot. Some short-lived freshness. The brand calls this a tutti frutti accord, which made sense. The sweetness starts to come through strongly. There's got to be some vanilla here as well. It's not the full-on caramelized sugar crystals melting, ethyl maltol, gritty, that sort of sweetness. Here I would also recommend testing this on skin. Of course, ideally all fragrances got to be, but this one smells noticeably different between paper and skin. On the blotter, it reminded me of this sweet vanilla, musky, ambroxan style of dry down, somewhere in the bracket of Baccarat Rouge and Oud Satin mode. If that is cotton candy, this is tutti frutti. The fruity notes quickly died down, but on skin they seem to be more present and also last for a longer time. The sweetness also seems to be less. The tangy, fruity accents are relatively mellow and rounded. It does not feel like syrup or anything, rather dry with a gummy undertone. It's like smelling a container filled with jelly beans, fruit candies, and other sweet treats. I'm not able to give more particular references because I'm not into this style of fragrances, but I've seen it getting compared to the offerings from Xerjoff, Roja Dove, Kayali, and such online. In the dry down, it's basically those fruity notes with the familiar, bouncy, airy, warm musks, which is the signature of the brand. Maybe some floral touches from Hideon, which is another favorite synthetic raw material of the perfumer. It does smell artificial, frankly. Not completely juvenile, but you can definitely find something like this at a much cheaper price proposition. I don't think it's a fragrance necessarily for young people or kids, especially if we are going with the current trend of sweet fragrances. Those who are comfortable with Baccarat Rouge and Oud Satin Mood and even other sweet Gourmand fragrances will be able to pull this off. The brand did say it's a youthful, nostalgic scent for adults. It is also an eau de parfum with alcohol at an expensive price point, unlike the non-alcoholic, water-based, cheaper, children-friendly offerings from other brands. The way it performs seems to be quite soft, at least from our initial wearing, which is in line with many of the later releases from the brand. So don't go in expecting a big sugary concoction that will keep pushing overnight. Would I want to buy and wear an expensive fragrance that smells like jelly beans and fruit gummies? Probably not. Having said that, on my drive back home, after spraying this on my arm, I was thinking definitely some people who Francis consulted regarding the creation must have questioned him on whether it would be better to do something else. Maybe this can be a limited edition, but is it really a good idea for a standalone release? For which he probably went,
it's like, it, you know, I mean...
So I have sort of come to appreciate it for taking some risk and the self-awareness of it all. Plus, it fairly achieves what it sets out to do conceptually, which is to create a playful, vibrant smell reminiscent of childhood treats. At the end of the day, Francis is a very good conceptual perfumer. I have even been told by some friends that he has created bespoke scents imitating music, paintings, fabrics and whatnot, and they convey the final idea. Though it's a different story with Dior. Let's see what happens in the future. It certainly feels like a guilty pleasure, just like candies are not an everyday thing. Kurky is definitely Kurkdjian at his quirkiest, if I do say so myself. He seems to be owning and embracing this side, even naming it after himself. I don't think I can go through a full bottle of this or anything. It's not a particularly exciting, great release by any means. In fact, it's fairly dull. I'm sure it will be quite divisive. I just wouldn't mind smelling this now and then for an amusing nostalgia trip for what it's worth. Either way, that's been my impression of Quirky from Maison Kurkdjian. And as always, thanks for watching, take care and ciao.